Make sure these ones are also in our folders. Okay, they're good. They're good. Good. Let's go to close-up camera 2. Again, we're going to start with our group, our folder. Make 4 copies, so Control A, Control Shift C and Control V 4 times. And let's start with our, I think, was it Renoir or Charette first? Let's see. Renoir first. Okay, let's jump to our next original and throw on Charette. So Charette is the one that we want. And then finally let's throw on that pocket sign hero. Let's start making some adjustments. So we go back to our this one's Renoir. This one's Charette. And this one pocket sign. So we have our Renoir layer on. We're going to turn on our Charette. I'm going to start pulling it back. We're going to turn on our pocket sign, and again we're going to start at 0 and start pulling it up. Okay, now we do a Control A, Control Shift C and Control V. No, we don't want to do that. I forgot to put the vignette on, so let's do that. No, I was right. I'm getting confused. Now we can turn our copies off, our filtered copies off. Now we do a vignette. And now we can jump between our corrected version and our original version. So our original, our color corrected. Original and color corrected. And you see, just see how much nicer the color corrected image is. Just adds vibrance and richness to the render. The original render looks a bit, let's analyze the original render just for a second. It looks a little green, little too much green, a little too much yellow. But by having a color correction on, we've removed a lot of the green and the yellow. We've really pulled up on the pinks and the purples, as well as the blue. So just a richer looking image as opposed to the original. Okay, and it's like I said, it's important to do it. You're going to make your images look so much better by doing it. Even if you're doing it through the color balance here, it's fiddly but once you've got the settings set up for one of your cameras, then you can copy that adjustment layer onto all the others. So, and you will achieve the same look that I'm using here by using color balance. It's just going to take a bit longer, that's all. Be a bit more fiddly, but it can certainly be done. And like I said, do look at this NIK collection from Google. There may be something in here. I haven't really played with these very much to see exactly what they're doing, but I know a few of them are quite useful. So, and it's free, so install it if you use Photoshop, that is. Let's jump to our last main camera. Before we do that, let's save this to my desktop. save it to my desktop. Okay, I was wondering why I didn't open my dialogue. There we go. Let's jump into our main camera now. Delete that one there. So Control A, Control Shift C and Control V 4 times. And again, we're going to start with Renoir. Sniper Record says, all of what you're doing is relevant to any kind of rendering or game engine work. It is, yes. Yeah, it's relevant for all sorts of rendering, regardless of what program you're using. Any rendered image, any image really that you create should be color corrected. It's particularly relevant to rendered images because you have less control over the final rendered color, because the computer program works that out for you. So it's important after the render is done to do the color correction to get it to look exactly the way you want it to. Because yeah, you have much less control during a render to get the colors correct. But that's no excuse then not to take it into Photoshop and color correct it that way. But you're right, it's relevant to all sorts of art, not just rendered art, all sorts of art really. Photography as well, if you're taking photographs. They do color correction on their photographs. So it's not just rendered images, color correction, important for all sorts of image work. Photography, rendering, game engines, as Sniper Echo says. So it's really an important step to be doing in your artwork or in any images you're creating. Always make sure you're doing some color correction. Because like I said, studios always do it. It's just part of their production flow. And that's why it's also always done on film work as well. So it's not just still images, color correction is done on everything. So it's done because it's important. And it's important because it's going to create a nicer image for you. And make a prettier picture or a prettier video or whatever it is you're looking at or doing. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Let me just name this Renoir. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is Surat. And let's do the final one here, which is Pocket Sign. Picket Sign. There you go. I've been calling it the wrong thing. I'll call it Pocket Sign now so it stays the same as the rest of the ones that I've called Pocket Sign. Alright, now let's start working our way from bottom to top. We start with our Renoir, we turn on our Surat, and we start pulling it back. I may pull this one up a little bit higher than 50, we may go to 55. Because I like the glow that's happening behind the terrace with that filter. And Pocket Sign, we're going to start at the bottom and start pulling it up. And I think we'll go to about 25 on that. Okay, let's Control A, Control C, Control V, and turn these off. The last filter we need to apply here is our vignette. And let's do a comparison now between the two. Our original image and our color corrected image. So the original and the color corrected. And you just see how much richer and nicer the color corrected image looks. Particularly for this image with the God rays, it just gives it more of a, what's the word, dreamy sort of look. The original one looks, again, a bit too green, a bit too yellow. And the color corrected one also helps focus in on the garden terrace in the background. And that's achieved by not only the color filters, but also the vignette. The vignette helps to draw your eye into the middle of the image. So let's export this to our desktop. Let's make sure we save our files. Also got to make sure I pop all of these into our folder. Now we can save our file. Again, make sure these are in my folder. And save our file. They're already in the folder, so let's save our file. They're already in the folder, so let's save our file. And they're in the folder, so let's save our file. Alright, now let's see if we can get an easier comparison. I want to show a side-by-side comparison of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to do that, I think the easiest thing for me to do is going to be to load them up. So I'm going to close down my original files here now. I'm going to pull in the copies that we just, the ones we just saved out. That one and that one. I'm going to pull back until we can get a better look at both of them together. This is our original, and this is our color corrected. I'll just leave them on screen for a minute so you can do a comparison between the two. So again, our original over here on the right and our color corrected over here on the left. I just want to do this to again, just to emphasize just how important and how helpful and how useful color correction can be on your image and why you use it. Again, like I said, the one on this one over here, the color corrected one, has taken out all of that yellow that you see on the one over there. Taking out a lot of the yellow and a lot of the green. There was too much yellow and green from the original render. So by bringing in more blue and a bit of pink, or a bit of red actually, just helps to lift the whole image up and pull the angel statue out of that image a bit more. She doesn't look quite as flat. She looks more three-dimensional. The lamp as well, if you look at the lamp, you'll see how it brought the lamp up. It made it look more dramatic than in the original render. And you can, hopefully you can see too the difference in the depth of field. You can see the depth of field through here, as in comparison to the original render, which has no depth of field. So the depth of field helps add depth to the image. The filtering helps to lift the image and also to bring up things like the lamp and the angel herself, make it more three-dimensional, not looking quite so flat. let's move on to the next two. We'll do you and... doesn't look like I saved out that one. Let me just open that camera up quickly and save out our color corrected version. Because I like to put them side by side like this as well. It really helps me to see exactly what I've done. So it's not only for your benefit, guys, it's for mine as well. I think that's camera 2, yeah. I just forgot to save the color corrected version here. Alright, let's try again. So go to the desktop. We want that one and we want that one. Again, we're just going to pull back until we can get a better look at the entire image. So, the one on the left is the color corrected, the one on the right is the original image from the render. Again, the same sort of thing. If you look at the wings and the angel statue and her arm and her body, it just helps to make her more three-dimensional, as opposed to looking a bit flatter here in the original render. Again, we can see the depth of field here in the background. Hey Montressier, good to see you, thank you. We've just finished doing our color correction, so this is our last stream for this model. Next week we're going to be doing some stuff in the Unreal Engine. I noticed they released 4.15 today, so I'm keen to do some stuff in that. I have an Art Deco building, that interior and exterior that I created back in 6 years ago in 2011 using UDK. I'm going to be recreating that using the new Unreal Engine. So I'm looking forward to doing that next week, starting Monday. So this is the last stream we're doing for our garden terrace. I'm just showing you guys a comparison between the original render and the color corrected render. Are you streaming anytime soon, Montressier? For you guys that don't know, Montressier is a visualization artist as well. He works in Arts Viz and he's also a Twitch streamer. So when he streams, I encourage you to check out his work. His work is very good. So yes, the depth of field here in the background, you can see between the original render and the color corrected render here. Remember, we did the depth of field by hand because I didn't want to slow my render down in view by getting it to do depth of field, and I like to have more control over my depth of field. You're going to try on Saturday? Cool. I'll keep an eye out for your stream then and check you out. Because as you guys know, I'm streaming myself, but I look at other guys streaming work quite a bit, so, and I like to watch Montressier work, and I like to watch Kiori work and Galen work. They're 3D artists as well, so by all means do check out Kiori on Twitch or Galen on Twitch as well. So yes, we just took out some of the green, some of the yellow, made it a bit more blue, a little bit more red, and the depth of field really helps to add a bit more realism to the picture, as well as the vignette we're using around the corners of the image. So that's a comparison between that camera and that one. Let's move on to the next camera. Let's do this one and this one. Again, you can see the dramatic difference. This is the color corrected one. This is the original one. Again, too yellow, too green, more blue, more red, and it just helps to add depth to the background of the image here. Again, we can see the depth of field happening here in the on the dome here, as opposed to the original render. Hopefully you guys can see that on stream. I know it's subtle, but it is there. If you look at the ironwork here at the top of the dome, you can see the depth of field going on, comparing it to here. You see we lifted up the light hitting our leaves here. That's a good comparison for doing correction on an individual part of the render. The same thing with the flowers over here in the corner. We lifted them up in the from the original render to make them stand out a little bit better. And it also helps to lift the flowering ivy here. The color correction does, that is. So again, color corrected, original. Okay, let's move on to another camera. Let's do this one here. So again, we've got our original on the right and our color corrected on the left. Again, the depth of field happening in the background here compared to the original. Again, the original 2 yellow, 2 green. We brought in more blue and more red, which helps to lift the ivy flowers. We did color correction on individual items in the scene, such as the flower here in the corner, the palm leaves over here in this corner, the tree leaves up here in the top corner, as well as that flower in the background, just to lift them up a bit more, make them stand out a little better. And it just also helps again to soften up the angel statue and to make her a bit more three-dimensional compared to our original render. Like I said, I like to put these comparisons up for my own benefit as well, because it helps me to look between the two images and see if there's anything that doesn't look right or could be improved. Hopefully you can see the God rays on stream, but they're just very subtle God rays popping down through over the stairs. And the color corrected image just helps to bring them up a little bit better than what we see in the original render here. Let's move on to the last image, which is the main camera shot, the pulled back camera, more of the environment, the pulled back one that we have. So it's this one here and this one here. So again, the one on the right is the original render, the one on the left is the color corrected render. It's probably the most dramatic as far as color correction goes because there's much more going on in the scene. Oh good, thanks for telling me Sniper Echo. Sniper Echo says the God rays are subtle, but you can see them good. Because like I said, I do know that when I stream, my stream gets darkened slightly by Twitch compared to what I see on my screen. So I'm glad you can see them. I know that I want them to be subtle, you don't want them in your face. But I do want people to know that they're there. Again though, like I said, this image is probably the better one for color correction because there's much more going on in the scene as far as color goes. And the most dramatic difference you'll probably notice is around the garden terrace itself, as far as color correction happening goes. You'll see it in the flowers as well, that they're a little pinker compared to the original. Again, because the original image is just a bit too yellow and a bit too green. So I think that's not too bad. Pulling up the light that was on that piece of grass, that small hill, just again helps to draw your eye into the image and then back to the garden terrace. And again, I just want to briefly talk about composition and balance. You know guys, while I've been creating this garden terrace over all of my streams, I always tell you guys, make sure that that your images are balanced and that you have good composition. And good composition just comes through balance, basically. You'll get good composition if you make sure that your images are balanced. And when I talk about balance, I mean things like, you see how we have these flowers in the foreground here? I balance that up with this tree in the corner here. If that tree wasn't there, the image would be unbalanced. And that's what I mean by not being balanced. So imagine that tree in that corner gone. That would be an unbalanced image. So if you have something going on over in this corner, make sure you have something going on in this corner. Just to create that balance through the image. It'll just make for a nicer, it's just a nicer thing for the eye to look at. And again, to try and draw your eye into the actual model itself. And I spoke about that when we were creating the model and texturing it up. It's important. It really helps if when you're creating your 3D models that you intend to put in a scene like this, that you balance your you create balance in the model itself as well, because that'll make your life much easier then when you want to render it out. So again, as an example, if I'd removed one of these statues, that would be an example of the model not being balanced, and that would make it more difficult. I'd have to compensate for that in the render somehow by putting something else up there on top of the terrace to balance it against that angel. So by all means, I'm not saying you must have two angels. If you only want to have one, that's fine in your original model. But if you must balance it with something else on this side of the terrace to balance up the render. Okay. So that's what I mean by balance. This is an example of why you would use balance in an image, just to make the image, the final image, look nicer. Again, color correction. I'm doing these comparison between the original and the color corrected to show you just how much of a difference doing some color correction can make. Let's go a little larger on our final color corrected model here, image I should say. It's going to pull up, and it may be a bit better for you to see on stream than those smaller squares. So that's our main image rendered out with color correction and everything finished. And that is our garden terrace stream finished now. So all you guys that are stuck with me from the beginning, and I know Sniper Echo's been around for a long time, I really do appreciate that, has seen this model come together from just being blocked out in 3D Studio Max to then being textured up in Mari by the Foundry, then imported into View and having materials assigned and assigned to the model, then us building our environment up gradually in Eon View, doing our preview renders in View, doing our final renders in View, and then showing you the broadcast quality renders here, and then taking that into Photoshop and doing our final color correction. So it's been a bit of a journey, guys, I know, but I do appreciate you guys that are stuck with it to the end. Thank you, Sniper Echo. I'm glad you liked the image. Hopefully you guys got something out of that stream. I know it's, like I said, I basically started streaming with this garden terrace, and I wanted to take my time because that's the way I am as an artist anyway. I don't like to be rushed. Even when I would do work in the studio, they know I don't like to be rushed. And I thought it was important to take you through the whole process, from initial creation to texturing to environment creation to color correction, because they're all really important steps in doing any sort of rendering or creating any image. So yeah, my goal throughout the past streams has been to show you my process, show you how I do it, hopefully give you some tips and tricks on how you can do it yourself, because like I said, guys, I want you to be doing 3D yourselves. I want you to create artwork. I'm on Twitch to do my work, but I'm also here for you guys and to encourage you guys to do 3D and to do art. Even if you think you're no good at it, you're not going to get better unless you practice and try. And it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. And you can create something that you'll never see in the real world. This garden terrace doesn't exist anywhere. This forest doesn't exist anywhere. And the only way you can see things like this is by making them, or having other people make them, but it's much more personal if you make it yourself. You get much more of a kick out of it if you've actually put it together yourself. And you should give it a go. You might surprise yourself. Sniper Echo says, no, I don't sell wallpapers, but I'm quite happy to give you a wallpaper if you want it, Sniper Echo, or anyone that wants the image. It's not a problem. I'll give you the image. I don't sell wallpapers. I sell the model. That garden terrace model is going to be for sale on the creative market on my store on the Creative Market, and it will be also on Cornucopia 3D for other people that want to use it in Eon View. So the model will be for sale, but I'm happy to give anyone a copy of the wallpaper, the image of any image if they want to use them for wallpaper. That's not a problem. Just let me know. Either email me at phil@phildoes3d.com and I'll send you an attachment with the email of the image. That's probably the best way to go. So yeah, anybody that wants a copy of the image, please feel free to email me, Phil, P-H-I-L, at phildoes3d.com, and I'll reply to your email and attach whatever image you want from those cameras. If you want all the camera images, I'll send them all to you. It makes no difference to me. This is a 16 by 16 though, so it's probably not great for wallpaper. I am going to be rendering out a larger version, which is 2560 by 1440, which I haven't shown you on stream, basically because I haven't rendered it out yet. I'll probably end up doing that over the weekend, but that's only going to be of this camera. So if you guys want this as your wallpaper, I will be rendering out a 2560 by 1440 version of it. That'll probably be better for your wallpaper. Hey Alchemist, how are you? Good to see you. So yeah, like I said though guys, if you do want copies of these images, feel free to email me. I'm happy to attach them to an email and send them off to you. This will be concluding our Garden Terrace stream. Next week we're going to be doing an Art Deco building exterior and interior fly through using the Unreal Engine 4, and that'll be using the new 4.15 version of the Unreal Engine that was released today. I'll be updating to that version. I'm at 4.14 at the moment after the stream. So let's just close down Photoshop here. And let's go through these images again one by one. These are all of our color corrected versions. After that we start going back to our uncolor corrected versions. So camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, and the main camera. But what I wanted to show you guys is what we're going to be doing next week. So we are going to be recreating this video. Now I'm going to show you a video of an Art Deco building that I created in UDK 6 years ago in 2011. We're going to be recreating this for the new Unreal Engine. I'll just let the video play through for you so you can see what we're going to be working on next. We're going to start with some concept art. This is concept art I created for the building before I actually put it together. Just so it gave me an idea of how I wanted to set up the building itself, the interior and the exterior. That's the only reason I did the concept art for it, just so in my mind I had a clearer idea of how I wanted things to look. So we're going to be recreating this Art Deco building, the exterior and the interior, using the Unreal Engine 4. This was done in the UDK. As you can see, it was done back in 2011. And I'm interested to see the lighting changes between the old UDK engine, this is Unreal Engine 3 I think, and the new Unreal Engine 4. Because I know Epic have made a lot of changes to the lighting. So I want to see what this building will look like recreated in Unreal Engine 4. And that's what we're going to be doing starting next week. Now that we've finished it with our Garden Terrace, we're going to be doing some stuff in Unreal. Again, because I know you guys are interested in the Unreal Engine, you're interested in doing game stuff, so it'll help you guys as well. Even though we're not going to be making a game with it, the techniques and things that I show you can easily be transferred to games creation and development. And I want to show you, because again, I've worked in games development in the past for my job. I worked for a couple of game studios. And there are certain ways that you can improve your workflow and certain things you should be doing when you're creating something like this in Unreal to conserve memory and polygon counts and that type of thing. So rebuilding basically this building in the Unreal Engine 4 will be a good way for me to show you guys what I consider best practice to do it and how I've done it in the past. And like I say, I've worked in the games industry, so hopefully I know what I'm doing. Again, it's been a little while since I've used the Unreal Engine, so do bear with me next week, guys, when we do dive back into it again, because I'm a little bit rusty. It's been a little while. I've been doing a lot of stuff in Vue and Max, and now I do architectural visualization, so I don't do much with our game engines at the moment, so it's more Max and V-Ray for me at the moment. So I'm keen to get back into using the Unreal Engine as well. I do just want to run this video through, even though it is really old video, like I said, done in the UDK 6 years ago. The assets we're going to be using are going to be the same though. We're going to take this building and those assets and recreate them in the Unreal Engine 4. So that will be our project for next week. I do want to thank you guys for watching, hanging out with me today and watching. I think we may call it a day there. I do appreciate it. Thank you for watching me while I've been streaming, and thank you guys that have been with me from the beginning, like Sniper Echo and Alchemist and Monstrosure, and popping into chat and saying hello. I really do enjoy it when you pop in and say hi. I really do want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and for watching the streams. This will be, like I said, the end of our Garden Terrace stream now. We've done our final image here. We've done our color correction. Next week, I'll be back on Monday next week. We're going to start working with the Unreal Engine. You'll still see me working in 3D Studio Max, because you'll see me jump between 3D Studio Max and the Unreal Engine quite a lot as I work. I may even have Photoshop open in the background, because that's generally the way I work when I do games engine stuff. I have my 3D program open, the Unreal Engine open, and Photoshop open in the background. And that just makes it easy for me to jump between them as I'm creating bits and pieces and putting it all together. So starting next week on Monday at 5 PM Pacific time in the US is when I'm on again next. We'll be recreating that Art Deco building in the Unreal Engine. I'll be updating to the new version of the engine this afternoon at 4.15. Again, guys, it's a free engine to download from Epic Games, so if you did want to try it out, feel free to download it and install it. Remember, if you're not sure when I'm going to be on, if you follow my Twitch channel at PhilDoes3D there, it'll give you a reminder, particularly with this communities going on at the moment. If you don't know where I am on Twitch, if you follow the channel, that'll be the easiest way to find out when I'm live. You can also follow my Twitter page at PhilDoes3D, because I always post 15 minutes before I go live to my Twitter account, if you just want a quick reminder that way. But my schedule does not change. I stream every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States. So with that, I will say goodbye. I do hope you guys will have a good weekend as well. You too, Sniper Echo, thank you. I've got a bit of work I've got to do for the studio this weekend, so no rest for the wicked, as they say. So my weekend will be a bit busy with work stuff, but you guys have a great weekend. Again, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching. I will be back on Monday next week, and we will jump into Unreal. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.